is Qualdos Playhouse.
Hey, I tell you what I'm gonna give you, Snakes. I'm gonna give you, to the count of 10, to get your ugly, yellow, no good keister off my property before I pump your guts full of lead. 1, 2, 10.
Jerk his arm!
All right, what's up, everybody? We're in Qualdos Playhouse here. It's Qualdo and Millsy
Just hanging out
hanging out.
with more technical problems than I care to have. But
Yeah, we had a lot of technical problems, but you know what? We're live now. We got the Facebook thing going, the Book of Faces. This will be broadcasted later. It'll be available on all major streaming platforms. So that's what we're doing. This is our first show. This is the first time that we've ever attempted anything like this before.
Interesting. I wish we didn't have so many issues, but
Well, you know what? It is what it is. I mean, like, what do you mean issues? Like with our lives or like with this?
I mean, I've had issues all day with camera equipment. I've had issues with the microphone. I mean, you got, for Christ's sake, you got a hockey glove holding your microphone up right now. So, I mean,
It is pretty ghetto, you know, but it's kind of like a Minnesota type of deal too, you know.
yeah, I'm surprised I don't have duct tape holding this light on here, but
Yeah. Well, that's okay, you know.
get into that.
So we just got talking one day and we just decided to do a podcast just like everybody else. Just thought we'd drink some beer and swap some stories and you know, what else is there? I don't know.
Well,
Also, this was, you know, this was technically a, you know, court order from a judge for community service.
It was, which is interesting. I think that judge was on DMT, but, you know, who's to say?
Well, I mean, you know, times are changing, Nick Mills. You know, I don't understand how a podcast could be part of community service, but I think we're doing our community a service by doing this.
I think so, too. So,
We want to thank everybody for joining us here. All of you guys that are tuning in. If you're not, that's fine. This will be available, like I said, on all major streaming platforms. You know, iTunes, Spotify,
YouTube.
whatever. Yeah, YouTube.
we'll get the camera issue fixed, and what I'd like to do is at least have, so you guys can hear the music that's playing with us on the Facebook Live or YouTube Live or something like that. It's definitely a lot we got to figure out.
That's fine. So our current events. What's happening in the world right now, Nick Mills? You had an article that you wanted to share, right?
Yeah, so it's article on dick size from the Mayo Clinic, our beloved Mayo Clinic.
And they
did
know
an article, just letting you guys know.
they know what's. I mean, they're experts.
Dude, they're the best.
They are the best of the best. They're right there in Rochester too.
Right in Rochester. So they decided to do an article on on your pecker size, and it's really interesting. I mean, to say the least. Let me just go ahead and just.
What does it say?
Hold on, I'm getting there. I like sometimes you know, technology's great. I like this guy's voice a little better, if you don't mind. Can you hear it? Is it recording at least? Damn it. See? More fucking problems. Let me give me a second here.
This whole thing wasn't recording.
But I don't know if it's recording into this thing. But I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it for you guys.
Is it recording in?
It's recording. I don't think it's recording the voice. The low.
Oh, maybe it is. I don't know. That's fine. We'll
We'll
take
figure
care
that
of
out
it. Yeah,
later.
we'll figure that
See?
out. Okay, shit. All right.
Anyway,
what does it say? I mean, what's the gist of it?
yeah. So some of you guys might fear that your wiener looks too small to satisfy your partner during sex is common. But studies have shown that most men who think their penises are too small actually have a normal sized penis.
Okay, well, that's what the debate has been raging about, is what is a normal size?
So in the article, it says if your penis is 13 centimeters, aka 5 inches, or longer when erect, it's of normal size.
5 inches. That's
5.
like
Yeah.
my hand from my thumb to the tip of my middle finger.
Where's the female clitoris though? It's right at the top there.
Isn't it? I don't know.
It's like right, like when they're flip. You've heard the flick the bean.
Yeah,
it's right there, right at the top, bud.
I don't know where it is. I have no idea.
A penis is considered abnormally small if it measures less than 3 inches
So, like,
when erect.
You know, they say Hitler had a micro penis.
Maybe, I don't know. Did they get a picture? Or
I don't know. 5 inches though. I mean, that's still that's considered average according to the Mayo Clinic.
I feel good about myself. I'm like 5.1, so I'm above average.
Well, I'm not gonna say on our show about how I feel about that. But what I will say is this: even if it is, you know, like, think about a needle on a sewing machine and how it moves very, very fast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all I'm gonna say about myself, and you know, we'll stick with that.
What an image.
But I know. But I mean, that's the Mayo Clinic. I mean, they gotta be right. Have to be.
I mean, I don't know. Do they? Let's see what else it says here.
Sure. I mean,
So I mean, if you're still like curious, like, man, it's still too small, and you're like, man, maybe I'm gonna look at some penis pills or dick pills or lotions.
Oh, no.
They have vacuum pumps. There's little exercises you can do. You literally.
I've only heard of the towel lift.
I'm gonna give you a new term for your vocabulary. It's called jelking.
All right. What's that all about? What does that even mean?
And so it's an exercise. You use your hand over hand motion to push blood from the base of the head of the penis downward. Although this technique appears safer than other methods, there's no scientific proof it works.
So you're basically, I mean, you're
just jacking off.
yeah,
Only like
exactly. You're just shaving the carrot at that point. It's kind of redundant, right?
I mean, I guess most guys work on dick exercises sometimes multiple times a day. We all know that guy.
Hey, not to name any names here.
I mean, we won't. Stretching is a technique.
How do you stretch though?
So it involves you take a little weight attached to a string, and you basically, like you can imagine, you tie the string around your dick, and you let that puppy just hang low for a while. Just let that weight do its trick to. I don't know. I don't know if like you squat. I don't. It doesn't really explain.
Doesn't a pump do the same thing?
It says the pump doesn't work. It says the pump could be dangerous.
Why? What?
A vacuum pump can make a penis look larger temporarily, but using one too often or too long can damage the elastic tissue in the penis.
Well, you know what? It's all about the moment. Own the moment.
Surgery. Surgical techniques lengthen it, but it's found mixed results. So that what they're saying is there's been a percentage of dudes who after surgery had they couldn't get hard or whatever. So all that money just
down the drain.
Longer hanging wang skis. Hey, you know, they might look
drain.
cool. They might look cool in the locker room, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's. But you know what? Just for that moment alone, that might be worth it. You know,
Maybe.
Because it doesn't matter, because the champions, after they're done, nobody sees them out back puking.
You know whose dick isn't working right now? Jacob Blake's. He won't be raping anybody anymore.
Jesus.
That was a low blow.
Yeah, it was a low blow.
God.
So that is what the Mayo Clinic says. So
That is. So,
fellas,
like,
don't feel bad about yourselves if you're like me.
but I mean, you know, first dates, I mean, you might get lucky on that first date, and then you never have to hear from her again. I mean, that's a possibility.
Hey, you know what? I mean, but even if you don't, it's all about the moment, man. The squirrel's got to get the nut. The wolf's got to eat. That's just what it's all about. And that's what the Mayo Clinic says, right? 5 inches.
That's right. Now, some of these chicks that will sleep with you on the first night might have a different opinion.
Well, exactly. But you know what? The golden rule of that is, Nick Mills, is what I always found is the bigger the hoop earrings, the more likely she is to do A to mouth on the first date.
Studies also show that women that smoke cigarettes are more likely to sleep with you on the first date.
I don't know. We'll have to listen to, we'll have to shout out to our female crowd out there. And ladies, you're going to have to just post on our Facebook page and tell us, you know, what you think about this article and this whole thing. Tell us if size matters or not. Right? I mean, it's only fair. We need a little bit of a chime in here from our sisterhood.
This background music is the shit.
I like it. So that brings us. You already said it, Nick Mills.
It's kind of my point was to go into
what is the worst first date that you have ever had?
God, I've been on all different types of first dates. First date, chick comes over, right? Oddly, I let her come over to my house, and we're hanging out, and she's like, "I don't want to crash here." Got drunk, and
as usual, a usual 21st century first date.
The problem was, 3 days later, she wouldn't leave. I'm not even kidding you.
3 days?
3 days. The next day, I'm like, all right, well, are you gonna get an Uber, a Lyft? What do you know? I'm kind of like hinting, like, you gonna get the out of here?
So she just like stuck around, like just basically said, claim this territory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so she was like, why can't I? She was like, really trying to be manipulative on staying.
Wouldn't you think that that's like beyond a first date at that point, like 2 days ago?
Yeah, like she wanted to move right in. I'm like, whoa. She was definitely a drinker. Like I could tell, like she's one of those types that drinks every day, heavily,
like without fail.
Without fail. I mean, the days she doesn't drink is probably when her.
Any judgments here?
No, I'll make judgments. I don't like. I'll tell you why in a second. I literally had to call the cops to get her out of here. I called her 2 Ubers. She skipped out on both of them, so that they charge you money. I don't know if you know that. But on top of it, I actually have cameras in my apartment, so I
yeah, you do. There's one right up there.
Yeah,
I remember.
Non-functional.
You know, well, not right now, but I distinctly remember you telling me about this.
Yeah.
How far back can you go?
It was pretty unbelievable. I can get it. I can get the video. I literally have video of her stuffing like food, like Cheez-Its, into her bag and like a bottle of tequila.
Stay tuned. We'll try and put that video up on our
yeah, I'll
page.
definitely look it up for sure.
Okay. So what happened after that? You called her 3 Ubers.
Once I finally got the police over here, she was like, she obviously put on a scene, crying and all this. They gave her a ride home.
The police did?
Yeah. St. Paul has pretty cool cops, and I talked to him, and I was like, look, man.
Shout out to John Conrad, by the way.
Fuck yeah. All of them. All St. Paul cops I've ever interacted with have been really, really professional and polite and cool, man.
Well, just all the cops in general, police, firefighters, EMS, all you guys. This is a show where we give a shout out to all you guys that are holding the line out there for us, and we appreciate it. So.
Fuck yeah. Absolutely.
So you called the cops, and they came up and gave her a ride
so
home,
she was
and then
giving
what
her little story, trying to lie and say I was being like abusive and this and that, and I was like, that's bullshit. I've been asking her for the leave for like 3 days. She got to the point where she was
3 days.
She was blocking the front door. She wouldn't let me leave my own house. So on top of all that, she ended up texting my kid's mom and just saying like, I'm the biggest piece of crap in the world and this and that. And I was just like, so let me tell you, that was like the first date from hell. Not even, what if there's a place worse than hell? Like if there's a fifth dimension and they have their own version of hell, it was that.
Well, that doesn't, okay, personally, I think that sounds like a pretty successful first date to me. And I just got to ask, as you're munching on popcorn into the microphone, was it good?
It wasn't even good.
That's even okay. Well, then that just can't happen again.
Yeah. No beach. None of that.
Well, you know what?
That's okay.
You know what? It just goes without saying in life, you take your lumps and you move on, right?
I'm still here.
Exactly. I think my first date that was absolutely the worst, and I mean the worst, was I used to work a job where I was on call. You know, I used to work for the railroad, and you're on call 24/7 for that. And I was single at the time, so I did the thing where you do the online dating thing or whatever, and so I met this chick at some little uptown, like some place in uptown. You could tell it was just like a total hipster joint. This was a few years ago now.
Even if it wasn't meant to be a hipster joint, the hipsters turn them into hipster joints.
Exactly, and that's just the way it was. So the first thing I noticed when I get in there is she doesn't look anything like the photos. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
yeah. And
so she catfished you, is I think the term.
Yeah, she was tall and creepy, like Taylor Swift.
Oh, okay.
I mean, she didn't look like Taylor Swift, but it's the same concept of tall and creepy.
Yeah,
right.
She had the eyes.
Right. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Just we'll see how everything goes, and
that was a walkie-talkie.
Okay.
My place isn't haunted, not that I know of.
Okay. Anyway, so we get a couple beers and we're sitting down, and this conversation is just not going well.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, this conversation is just not going well. So I get like another round, and we're sitting there talking. It was one of those things where you can just tell already, right off the bat, that it's just not going to work out. You just know it. And so the waiter comes over, and she orders food, right? She orders like this salmon or whatever, and she asked me, she's like, "Oh, are you hungry?" And I was like realistically, yeah, I was fucking hungry. I wanted to eat. But I was just like, no, I'm good. Like I'm good for now. And she turns to the waiter. You know what she says? She's like, "Oh, well, he'll have what I'm having."
Well,
yeah, exactly. So it gets better. So I'm sitting
I feel like I know where this is going.
Yeah,
Keep going.
So I'm sitting in a corner, like the corner of your apartment over here, right? And she moves from her seat, like where you're sitting, and right next to me. So like,
Whoa.
I'm doing the number where my arms are scrunched up, and I have to like scrunch up my arms just to take a sip of beer, right? So just as a bailout, I was like, okay, I gotta hit the can here, right? That's a good bailout, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, when you gotta go, right?
Well, women use like their friends to like text and be like, "Oh,
And
little Timmy got a toothache. I got to get going."
Oh yeah. They have a million excuses, and
Yeah.
you know what? I never understood, Nick Mills, why they go to the bathroom in groups. We'll have to talk about that on the next episode. I don't understand that.
I think that'd be what'd be good if we can get maybe get a girl to come on board on the podcast and explain this to us.
I think that would be good. We are accepting candidates, or if you have stories about a bad first date, once again, or why you go to the bathroom in groups, feel free to post any of that on our Facebook page here, and maybe you'll get featured on our next show. We might read the stories. It'll be humorous nonetheless. But anyway, so I go to the bathroom, and I'm sitting there, and I'm draining my lizard, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, just
make a run for it.
Well, hold on. So I thought to myself, it's like, okay, well, you know what? You already know it's not going to work out, and just whatever. Just get through it. Like you take your lumps, and then you move on, right?
Yep.
So I went back and I asked the bartender. I was like, okay, well, what are we at here? How much is this going to be? And like he showed me the tab, and he's like, dude. I'm like, dude, like we're at like $80 right now. I mean, we're talking like $80 for a first date. So I'm like, oh shit. And I seen her back there, and she ordered another round of beers. So you're like committed at that point, but you're not. On the way to the bathroom, I noticed the kitchen door was right on the way to the bathroom. So after I was contemplating what I was going to do, right? And so I still said, I was like, okay, just be a decent guy. Just tell her, thanks, but I'm not interested. And then something just happened. I just did a very military-like about face. And then I trumped through the kitchen door, out the back, and just kind of trotted back to my car with my hands in my pockets. It was a dying ditch. It was a dying ditch. That was the only time that I had ever done that in my life.
To be fair, you said you didn't want anything.
Well, and before I went to the bathroom, I didn't mention this. You know what she said to me? She's like, after this, you're going to take me for a walk around Lake Harriet and you're going to buy me ice cream.
Oh, like...
This is not a joke. Like,
that's why. Well, no wonder why she's single.
Well, I mean,
did she even say it in like a cute way? Like,
no,
girls like
even if she did, like even if she had like a seductive voice, it wouldn't have worked for me because she's tall and creepy, like Taylor Swift, right?
Dude, that's a freaking nightmare. But at least you were able to get the hell out of there. Did you? So did I assume she like text you or whatever later?
Yeah, she did actually, and so I just kind of shirked it off. She's like, "Well, that was a nice move on your part." I was like, "I think it was," and then I never talked to her again.
Just forward. See ya. Hey, at least you got some leftover salmon later on.
No, I just completely wasted it.
She did.
Yeah, she did. You know what? And that might have been her whole strategy the whole time. You never know.
But she ended up paying for it, though.
Yeah. Well, somebody did, and it wasn't me. So, you just have to get yourself out of there.
Yeah, I think that's the best strategy.
I think anybody would have done the same thing. This has bothered me for years. This was like 5 or 6 years ago.
You feel bad about it, but at the same time, it's like, this is not going to work. You can tell immediately.
Well, right, and you try to do the right thing. You want to do the right thing and just say, just play it out. I mean, if you get a beach, that's cool.
Yeah.
But then when you're done, you can just say, hey, you know what? I'm sorry. Like, this just isn't going to work out. That's just what you do, right?
It's just fucking crazy, man.
Right. I mean, I think so.
So I wanted to talk about our next subject, and it's really difficult to find the idiot of the week. So I just want to go to the idiot that I just found, or let's spotlight.
Oh yeah,
let's spotlight a few people, and I just
let's give a shout out to these folks.
Yeah. So Florida man, and some of you guys might have heard this. 29-year-old David Hines of Miami. He was arrested because he got $4 million in COVID relief.
Wow.
He fucking bought a Lamborghini with his COVID money.
$4 million. How would you even swindle that much money out of people?
You got to think they're going to figure that out.
I mean,
at some point.
Well, right, but I mean, did he do like a GoFundMe or what? I mean, what did he do?
I don't know. He had it might have been like a mistake that they gave him the $4 million. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean,
it happens.
That's a heck of a mistake.
Hey, by the way, if you ever get a check from the IRS for any kind of money that you weren't expecting, don't spend it. Just don't. I mean, they will prosecute you. It's crazy.
So it's like they're like setting you up for failure.
Yeah, what you should do. Well, like there was actually a lady in Minnesota who got, I want to say like $1 million or something from the IRS, and
like 1 million.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, sweet," and she went and she gifted it to her boyfriend, so they got to keep it, but she did time at the Plymouth workhouse. I don't know.
That's ridiculous.
She did like 8 months.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, if you're not guaranteed 8 months, people, but if I knew I was only going to get 8 months, I'll probably just keep that check too.
I mean, well, 8 months in a women's prison. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What's a word? I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
And it was the Plymouth workhouse, so she got to leave to go to work and shit. You know, pretty crazy. But yeah, so this guy buys
that's
a Lamborghini.
Not that bad.
Yeah.
But $4 million?
$4 million in PPP loans to buy a Lamborghini and other high-end luxury items. 29 years old.
So what else did he buy? I mean, $4 million. I mean, sure, that'll get you a Lamborghini, but what else?
It's called Paycheck Protection Program is what PPP stands for. It doesn't say what else.
What else did he buy? I mean, he probably bought a pretty nice house, right?
According to prosecutors, Hines...
Some hookers and blow?
He probably did. He looks like it, man. This dude looks like... I mean,
and we'll post a link. We'll post a link to the article on our Facebook page.
This dude is something else. He made purchases at resorts, luxury retailers in Miami. I mean, he was probably
so he's a little bit of a diva,
just like
making it rain.
Making it rain, baby.
Kind of like down at KOD.
He posted his bail money. Had $100,000 bail. He's like, I'm good, bro. Here we go.
And then he just posted his bail money with that same money that he got from the IRS that got him in the can in the first place.
That is great.
That is great. You know what? That's one of the most American things that I've heard in a while.
I wish I had a button where I could just go ding, ding, ding.
Oh, we'll get that. This is only the first episode.
David Hines, you're the man. Can we get David on the podcast? That'd be great, dude.
Yeah, we should. We should ask him.
We should try to I don't know.
Call him up and ask him about
find his
what
Facebook,
happened.
Be like, hey, free or, This was back in July is when this article was written. So.
Oh, okay.
But Florida is it never disappoints when you're looking for stupid news.
Florida does not. No.
I mean, I've never heard of a Minnesota guy high on bath salts, naked, kill somebody and start eating their flesh in the middle of the road
while listening to White Zombie.
Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I have another idiot of the week.
Oh, you got an idiot of the week?
Yeah, there's an idiot of the week. Cops to suspect you forgot your winning lottery ticket. You can only imagine what that's all about. A suspect in Georgia left his good luck behind when he abandoned a winning lottery ticket while fleeing sheriff's deputies. The Cherokee County Sheriff's Office says the man had a Georgia lottery scratch game card worth $100 when he ran away during a traffic stop on Interstate 75 on Monday, the AP reports. In a Facebook post, it offered its congratulations and invited him to claim the ticket at its office in Canton, about 40 miles north of Atlanta. Sheriff's Office spokesman Captain Jay Baker tells CNN that the suspect was later taken into custody. Baker says the man was in a passenger vehicle that was pulled over for a tag violation, and he ran into the woods. He ran away. Ran off. Gone. The lottery ticket was in a backpack that also had methamphetamine, according to Baker. When he bonds out of jail or gets done with these charges, we'll certainly return that lottery ticket, but we're keeping the methamphetamine, Baker says.
Well,
at that point, he doesn't.
How much was the lottery ticket?
It just said it was $100.
Oh,
so I mean, it
ain't even that much money.
No, that's not even enough to buy like a decent amount of methamphetamine that he had. The meth was worth more than the winning lottery ticket.
Probably. Maybe we could get you might want to buy a toothbrush, though. That's for sure. I don't know if you've seen meth heads, but I think in my entire life, I think maybe I've ran into one. Well, I used to be a business partner with a guy, and he swears up and down. He's like, "Oh, quit it." We're down in Nashville. I don't know if you know this. I used to own the clothing line, and we were selling it in Nashville to one of the guys in the Steve Miller Band. Some people call me a space cowboy.
Yeah, fly like an eagle.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Joseph Wooten, good buddy of mine, he plays the keys in the band, and he'd buy the jeans. He loved it. So after, you got invited to some of the parties, and as you can imagine, there's drugs.
Oh yeah.
And I look at Richie and I'm like, "Don't do it," and he sure as shit did it, and just fell off the train after that. So, but yeah, can't trust him. But I think so far, you know what? This has been quite the experience. Hopefully, episode 2, we will be We'll be a lot better organized for the process of getting everything going and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think so. So, did you know that he was doing meth when you decided to be his business partner?
I knew he had done it in the past.
So,
But
as far as you were concerned, he was recovering.
Correct.
Okay.
I give people the benefit of the doubt, maybe sometimes too much. Maybe that's my
Classic.
downfall. Yeah. But yeah, so we're not friends anymore. I think he's got a gift. He's definitely very good at designing clothes and stuff like that. However, it's just he throws that gift right in the trash when he goes back on dope, so not a very good person.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I mean, you run into people like that every now and again.
But like I told you earlier, everything happens for a reason. I mean, I got to meet Eric Lee Bedingfeld, Manuel down in Nashville.
Oh yeah, the sparkly jacket guy, right?
Yeah, he does all the jackets that all the big time country singers will wear when performing at the Grand Ole Opry. From all the way from Elvis, Johnny Cash, everybody. So it's I'd love to take a trip down there maybe after COVID or whatever. After COVID.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, we'll talk about that some other time. But you know what? I think your Nashville story is a lot more interesting than mine. Because the last time I was down there, like a couple of years ago, it was a Berkeley audition for guitar. And I decided to go to Tootsie's Tavern or whatever.
Tootsie's.
Yeah. They have karaoke there, and it's got to be next level or whatever, because it's Nashville. And so I park in a ramp and I'm doing my I start working my way over there, and as I'm walking over there, I pass this homeless guy, and he's just passed out, sprawled out on the sidewalk, just passed out.
Can I just say that the homeless in Nashville are a lot more entertaining than the ones in St. Paul here?
That's true, and they have a homeless problem.
Man,
there.
if you're homeless in St. Paul, man, you need to step your game up.
Yeah, I think so too. Absolutely. So I go to Tootsie's, I'm doing my thing or whatever, getting a little tuned up, having a few Steve Weisers. And so by the time I'm stumbling or walking out of the bar to go back to my car, to not drive my car after I've been, now that we drank a bunch of beers, let's go drive a car.
Right.
I walked by and it had to have been 7 hours later almost. And that guy was still there.
Wow.
That same guy.
Maybe that's his spot, though. Maybe he got up and went somewhere.
No, he was like in the same position. And I knew that because it had rained also. And I could see that underneath his hand was still dry.
Was he alive?
I don't know.
Oh, man. He might have checked out.
But I want to thank that guy for helping me find the parking ramp. Otherwise, I never would have. So there is that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I bought a homeless when I was down there, this one homeless guy wanted money, and I was like, well, I'm going to the McDonald's here. You want a cheeseburger? I'm not giving you money, bro. He's like, I'll take a cheeseburger. All right, there you go.
Really? That's a lot of people that I offer money to that are homeless. That's why I don't do it anymore, honestly.
Sure.
They just, oh, well, no, I don't want that. It's like, well, I'll buy you a sandwich. Oh, no, I'm trying to get some hot food. Not far from here, Nick Mills, Lunds and Byerly's. There was this chick that I offered her money, and I was working my ass off. Or I was like, hey, I'll buy you a sandwich or something. She's like, no, I'm trying to get some hot food. I'm like, all right, well, you know what? Get bent then.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
You're probably not even homeless.
Yeah, it's hard. It's weird. A lot of people don't know. Homeless people, many of them are convicted pedophiles. So
yeah, they just kind of want to stay off the radar.
Yeah, well, as you know, if you're convicted of pedophilia, you can't move anywhere unless you register with the city or whatever.
A registered sex offender.
Correct. So they're like, well, F that, I'll just go off the grid and live in a tent. And I don't know if you saw by driving up here, there's a couple of campsites here. I mean,
There is. They're all
shitting.
over this city, dude.
It literally looks like a campsite.
I know, it really does, dude. And like over by the Capitol and by the, Basilica.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible.
One guy's got a mansion of a tent over there. I'm not even shitting you.
Like the Taj Mahal of tents.
Dude, he might be like the top guy over in the homeless community over there. He's just balling out of control. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's got like fucking running water inside that motherfucker, dude.
Well, he very well could. I think and I used to work over by where 3rd Precinct used to be.
Sure.
And they had that homeless camp forever, like right outside of Highway 55. And it was like being in Iraq again. You could smell it before you even got to it.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
It's got that.
And then
really
they finally shut it down, because then there was heroin in there. It's like, I never would imagine that.
It's got this distinct smell.
It does. It's like I don't know.
Burning shit is just. It's. So like my experience.
Cue the barfing sound effect.
Yeah.
We'll have that on a later show.
My experience in Iraq is when you first get there, you're just like, your nose hairs just burn. And that smell. But after a while, you kind of get used to it. And
Absolutely.
as much, which
You can
is
get
sad.
used to pretty much anything. That's what the Nazis said at the Nuremberg trials. You can get used to anything.
Yeah, sure.
Did you say yes, sir, or yeah, sure?
I don't know. Yes, sure.
So you are okay.
Schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
Canada, huh? Almost made it. That is a great movie.
They don't like it on our one of our favorite morning shows.
We will have a theme for this, but it is now time for Would You Rather with Qualdo and Millsy. This is our theme called Would You Rather.
I'm scared.
Well, you know what? You gotta come up with yours. I came up with mine.
Oh,
Should I go first?
well, I don't have one yet.
That's fine.
Let me think. Oh man, I might have to wait till next time.
That's fine. And again, for all the folks tuning in on Facebook, we appreciate you. We see you. Feel free to tune in, chime in on anything in the comments on Facebook or post it on our page about anything that we've talked about. Would you rather? Okay, the first one that I came up with, and sound off in the comments. Would you rather film yourself nailing Hillary or lick Joe Biden's sack?
Man. Like, does anybody have to see this film? Like, oh.
I mean, you are the film guru here.
I know. I just wondered if it's something I could just alt control delete, get rid of after, but
Well, I mean that's up to you.
that defeats the purpose. I'll go with the Hillary one because I'm not licking no ball sack.
Ooh, not some old.
I mean, he can't. He doesn't even know where he's at. I don't know how clean that thing is, man.
Yeah.
I mean, at least with Hillary, I could throw a Jimmy strap on and close my
sure.
eyes and.
You don't know if he even knows how to shower. He might need that special tub. I've seen the advertisements for.
Jones, let me sniff your hair. Should get a sniffing sound. I call him Joe Sniffles.
Yeah, Joe Sniffles.
Joey B.
Yeah.
Sniffles.
Well, I mean, okay, all right. So you took option A.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Not proud of it.
I wouldn't be proud of it either. But
My
you know what?
but the way to deal with that is just close your eyes. You're rocking a Jimmy strap and just pretend you're in a different I can't imagine I'd even really feel anything. I just feel like it's like throwing a hot dog down the hallway down there. I don't know.
There's probably rats in there.
Well,
I mean,
because
rats and cobwebs,
who knows? But see,
if Bill wouldn't even, back in the day.
I'd probably get murdered or accidentally
suspiciously,
myself.
yeah, oh yeah. Jeffrey Epstein.
God.
I mean, come on. You know?
Epstein didn't kill him. So.
No, of course not. So we established that. Okay. Next. Would you rather lay on a bed of nails with a cobra on your chest or play tetherball in a yard full of Africanized bees?
Oh, I hate bees. I'll take option A.
What's it going to be? Oh, lay on a bed of nails with a cobra on your chest, a venomous serpent. Nick Mills. Think about this.
I don't like bees, dude. I hate bees.
Bee stings are livable.
And if you're laying on a bed of nails, I guess there's a way, like, because there's so many, they would not. It's not like they're gonna penetrate your skin. So, how long do I have to lay there for? That's the question.
Well, we're not asked. I mean, that's just not in the. It's just this is.
Obviously, there'd be a moment. I wouldn't do either ever, but if I had no choice, it would definitely be option A.
If you had a choice.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, if I had no choice.
How about that?
Nasally.
Yeah, you are. Well, it is allergy season. And there's a lot of Democrats around here, so I'm sure you're just allergic to their BS.
Yeah, it's really interesting living in this city. Like I was telling Cece earlier, I'm literally like a red dot in a blue sea over here. Like but like earlier today, I was rocking my Trump socks.
Yeah, I was gonna say we were gonna mention that. Like you got those. We'll post a picture of it on our Facebook page. But Millsy was at a Trump rally earlier today.
Yeah.
And he got these really clever Trump socks that he is currently wearing on our show. Tell us about the socks.
Well, so today the Trump rally was in Northfield from 3 to 6. We had multiple guest speakers and all that. And
anybody famous?
No, I didn't know anybody really. They're trying to get Candace Owens for a speaking event. So.
Oh, okay.
You know who she is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I would vote for her.
Yeah, she's cool as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. She puts things so delicately too.
Oh yeah.
So
you went down there and what happened?
So yeah, I went down there and well, let me start with this. I bought the socks this morning at a Trump shop. I also got a free Trump sticker. I'm gonna call my car insurance to make sure that if my vehicle is destroyed by vandals raging over my Trump sticker, that I'm covered first. So just gonna check on that. Next thing, we took a ride over to the Trump show, or to the Trump rally, I should say. And then I got out there with my camera because what I'm doing is I'm filming a documentary called American Under Siege.
And what's that going to be about?
Basically, it's going to be a film. It's going to be a documentary. I've been to riots. I'm going to attempt to go to, and a lot of people don't know, in Minneapolis downtown, where George Floyd was killed. They're starting to create what, like Portland, an autonomous zone, meaning that they run it. Cops aren't allowed, is what they say. That they can do whatever the F they want to there, right? And so basically that is, yeah. So I'm going to attempt to go down there and just give it a shot. Try to walk in there with my camera. Because I want to see what it's like. This is really curious to me. Because it seems like the Portland show, or the autonomous zone, didn't really pan out too well for those guys that live there. That they had their fun, and then it was like Big Daddy Trump had to come in with the feds and end their fun. So I imagine eventually the same thing if it gets out of hand in Minneapolis. So far, I haven't heard anything. But if it does get out of hand, then it will be more riots on the streets and things like that. The rally today was several speakers, kind of local folks, some that have their own podcast, some that are talking about our freedoms and things like that, which you'll learn real quick in this show that
it is important.
Well, what's important is what you need to know is the liberals are literally trying to take away your rights. I mean, mean, it's just plain and simple. Some old white guy wrote that 300 years ago. We don't care about that. You know, stuff like that. It's just like, okay, well, those are the values we live by, okay? That this country is not perfect, but it's much better than, say, living in El Salvador, for instance.
Right.
And by the way, I love how they talk about, walls don't work, F the wall or whatever. Go down to El Salvador. Walmart has a wall around it. And not only do they have a wall around it, they have a dude in camouflage with a big-ass gun guarding the front door, okay? Walmart.
Well, that sounds more like Gary, Indiana than El Salvador.
Yeah, Gary's pretty crappy, too.
Well, that's good. You know what? But the socks are the highlight of that, I would say.
Yeah, so as I was walking earlier today, I came home and I had my socks on and I have my Blue Lives Matter mask on.
And you do that sandals with socks thing, don't you?
And my neighbors were just looking at me like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, the one that we saw in the elevator on the way up here?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
But, so back to the documentary.
She looked a little uptight, man. You wouldn't have wanted to date her anyway.
Yeah, she seems a lot more normal than that chick that was like trying to like not leave my place for 3 days.
But you know what? Do you want to hear a joke that probably would have made her laugh?
Sure.
What's the difference between a pickpocket and a peeping Tom? One snatches your watch, the other watches your snatch.
It's like something I'd hear my grandpa say. That dirty bastard.
He will be a guest on this show, by the way.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I think we can do it.
We might have to actually go up to him, though. He lives up in Brainerd.
Well, that's all right. More once we get more of this stuff figured out, then we're going to start having guest call-ins for the show here.
Yeah, I'm going to get some more equipment. There's a pretty cool soundboard that we're going to get, and that's more kind of user-friendly, so we'll be able to have call-ins and all kinds of cool stuff. But, we're both of us are college students. We kind of live on a poor man's budget, so we got what we have. And,
yeah. Well, that we might look at wrapping it up here for our first show. What do a nearsighted gynecologist and a puppy have in common, Nick Mills?
let's hear it.
A wet nose. That's terrible. I like it.
It's like a good dad joke.
It is.
Like to your adult children or something.
Right, I think it is. It's a joke that I might tell my kids. Anyway, thank you guys again on Facebook Live. There's only 3 of you, but I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you have commentaries on anything that we talked about, feel free to post them on the video. Feel free to post them on the page. We'll have photos of the articles that we talked about, and we will have a photo of Nick Mills's Trump socks for sure. Thank you again for tuning in to Qualdos Funhouse, Qualdo and Millsy here, and we will see you next time.